regular meeting of the Lake Charles Harbor and Terminal District is now been called to order at 2 p.m. May 29, 2025. We will have the invocation of myself, and we will have the pledge by Mr. Craig. May we all bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we come to see you in the most humble and gracious way we know how, giving thanks upon all the many blessings you've bestowed upon us as your Christian people. We ask a special blessing upon this commission, Heavenly Father, the decisions we make may be for the betterment of this city, this parish, and this state. And we just ask a blessing on all the ones that are attending, Father, that we can always do what's best for them and make sure that we keep things of what we do as a board in the minds of others. We ask these many blessings in your Son name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Raise the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We want to thank everyone for coming this evening. And if you have your cell phones, we ask you please silence your cell phones so there won't be any interruptions during our meeting. At this time, we will go to public comment procedure. The board encourages public comments and questions regarding all agenda items. Persons wishing to do so should complete a speaker's card, which is at the entrance of the boardroom. When speaking or asking a question on an agenda item, one should, in addition to completing the card, come to the microphone, be recognized, and provide your name, address, and phone number. Comments by individuals will be limited to 3 minutes. Our agenda items now, moving to our minutes. Approval of the April 24th, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that item will pass. Moving on now to our submissions. Submission 2025-019, accepting the lowest proposal received from Alpha Palmer LLC in the amount of $236,707, plus a contingency of $13,000 for a total of $249,707 for the administration building second floor build out. Mr. Sallier.
Yes, Mr. President, this relates to the build out of the second floor, as you mentioned, here at the administration building to provide for additional meeting space. And we also are currently storing our files off-site, and this will enable us to have space to store those here, make them more readily available. And from the response or proposals, Alpha Palma was a low of $237,000.
Thank you, Mr. Sallier.
You have HVAC for this already? Or part of that?
Turn that over to Nick.
Yes, sir. It's roughed in now. The space is already conditioned, so it's just a few minor modifications to the HVAC to make it perfect for with the drop ceiling whenever it's installed and the build out is done. So it's just a few minor modifications to the HVAC.
So you don't have to have another unit?
No, sir, not another
You
unit.
already have
No.
enough tonnage here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions about the commission?
Move to approve 2025-019.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that item will pass. Moving on to submission 2025-020, accepting the lowest responsive bid of Keelan Construction LLC in the amount of $4,649,833 for the base bid, plus a contingency of $460,000 for a total of $5,109,833 for the berth 8 feeder replacement at City Docks and to amend the capital 2025 capital budget. Mr. Self.
Yes, Mr. President, as you mentioned, this relates to the birthday fender replacement at City Docks. The original fender system was installed in the 1960s with no significant improvement since that time. There have been repairs along the way. Lanier inspected it, did a detailed design bid package for us, and went out for bid. We received 7 proposals back, 7 responsive bids back. Keelan was the low bid at $4.7 million. And we recommend moving forward with Keelan Construction.
Nick,
Yes,
this
sir.
is the one that's got the concrete piles?
No, sir. This the fender system had timber piles, and then some repairs they made at one point. It had a few pipe piles, steel, but the dock behind it is concrete piles.
Okay, so the fenders is going to be timber also?
No, the new ones. I'm sorry. The new fenders are going to be steel pipe piles.
Steel?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So it's going to look more like a steel pipe piles, a steel frame that slides over, and it's going to have rubber rubs on the front of it. So it's going to probably be our nicest fender system we have at City Docks now.
Okay.
I move to accept submission 2025-020 as presented.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that item will pass. submission 2025-021, accepting the contract of Alpha Palmer LLC as complete for the BT1 storage expansion port project. Mr. Self.
Yes, Mr. President, this submission relates to just the acceptance of the BT1 storage pad as being complete. Palm has already done all the work. Duhon and Pleasant certified that the project was complete or substantially complete, and Palma has completed all the punch list items. Because there was state money involved, of course, priority were required to submit to the board to basically state that it is complete.
I so move to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that item will pass. Moving on to submission 2025-022, authorizing the executive director to execute all applicable documents to the United States Transportation Maritime Administration through the Port Infrastructure Development Program, PIDP. Mr. Self.
Yes, Mr. President, we were successful in getting a $3 million grant through the community project funding through Congressman Higgins' office. It relates to multi-use transloading facility at city docks. There's a cooperative endeavor agreement involved with MARAD, between the board and MARAD. And because there's a CEA involved, it's got to go to the board for approval. The overall project will be in the $6 million range, but thankfully we were successful in getting about a $3 million grant to cover nearly half, or depending on the actual cost, but approaching half of the overall cost of that project.
So it's currently gravel?
It is. It's a gravel pad at city docks. You probably have seen it. We're using it for storage now, outside storage, but the fact that it's going to be a paved area will enhance the site. We'll be able to do transloading, storage, and move cargo through there now.
When you say paved, you mean asphalt or concrete?
No, sir, it'd be concrete. And we're also going to extend the rail line that's adjacent to it into the pavement so that we can have more locations to load rail cars straight from open storage.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Craig. Any other questions about the commissioners?
Move to approve 2025-22.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that item will pass. Moving on to submission 2025-023, authorizing the executive director to enter into a lease termination agreement and cancellation of recorded lease by Big Lake Fuel LLC and Pullman US. Mr. Self.
Yes, Mr. President, this relates to the Port of Aloud Big Lake Fuels terminating the lease on 270 acres at the industrial canal facility. We're doing this, they stated that they're not going to move forward with the project. Our goal is to get that property back in commerce. We were able to negotiate a termination fee, and we'd like to, move forward with that. We're going to get the site, it actually has permitting already, which will make it a highly marketable location on the deep drive channel.
Okay. How long before we put it back on the market?
I think we can probably do it right away.
Well, the official termination doesn't take place till the end of this year. There's a kind of a
Okay.
phased approach, so the termination will be, but as far as marketing it, that'll begin almost immediately.
Thank you, Mr. Cheyenne.
So
President, I
moved to
recommend
accept Submission 2025-23.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that item will pass. We will now move on to our briefing notes. April 2025 financials. Mr. Cameron. Good to have you back, by the way, Mr. Cameron.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Well, glad to be back. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. So for the month of April 2025, we generated revenues of $4.6 million, which was favorable $700,000. We saw higher petroleum coke at BT1, as well as we had some additional commodities moving through the industrial canal. Expenses were $2.7 million, which was actually favorable $200,000. Higher efficiency, lower maintenance costs associated with the new ship loader. So it's good news moving forward. Non-operating revenues were unfavorable, about $200,000. Still seeing lower interest income. And then cash flow was around $2 million. On the balance sheet, unrestricted cash went up around $32.2 million. As you know, we did a $50 million interim financing, so that increased our unrestricted cash. That was largely offset by the capital project expenditures that are ongoing. which is the primary reason for that interim financing. Also included with that, long-term debt increased around $48.7 million due to that financing. And then construction in progress is up $24.6 million. So much needed funds for all the projects ongoing. And then any questions on the financials?
You can move on to the FEMA and GOSEP.
On the FEMA GOSEP side, not much really going on right now. We received around $200,000. There is around $2 million in their finance completion, so we should see that pretty soon. And then just yesterday, one of our bigger projects, a portion of that was approved, so around $6 million should be hitting the financing queue in the next couple days. So hopefully we'll see that before the next meeting. But other than that, not a whole lot moving there.
Just to add to that, there might not be a lot moving there, but Cameron and I and the staff and our consultant are pushing pretty hard to try to keep that flowing. As you probably have seen in the news, FEMA has slowed down quite a bit, but we're still trying to push and get those last remaining dollars. So they're the slow side, not us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Cameron, Nick, we both
Thank you.
appreciate that as a board too, man. We appreciate what you guys do.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Any other questions about the commission? We will now move on to our department reports. Administration, Finance, and Security. Cameron, we're back on you.
Yes, sir. So other than caring for my newborn baby, we've been working on
Congratulations.
Thank you. We've been working pretty hard on the audit to get that done to present to you at the next meeting, as well as working on our new operating software, which we plan to go live, at least the accounting side of it, on July 1st. So, any questions?
Any questions about it?
That's been pretty straightforward, that new software, you know?
There's been a few hiccups only because of the way we have to process things, but it's been pretty
Staff's picking it up.
We've sent some kind of test scenarios out to staff that they're going to start running through pretty soon.
Okay.
So we'll know more next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Cameron.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions about the commission?
Reticence in your voice.
Anybody that's gone through a
Well-
software, accounting software.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
Wow.
It's definitely a we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We do appreciate your work on that. We will now move on to Navigation's monthly report. Mr. Channing.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, a couple of things. The industry went to D.C. on May 6th through the 8th to discuss financing and funding, federal funding for the channel. As usual, we never come back with any commitments, but the meetings that were held were beneficial, and we've gotten our message across. Same group will be going to New Orleans on the 16th to talk to the district commander, and after that's finished, they'll be going to Vicksburg to talk to the division commander, which will finish our begging for bucks for this year. We're doing work on the FY26 budget. And so far, we don't have a lot of detail on what that budget is. So we're going up there telling anybody who will listen to us what our requests are. And then wait to see what the president's budget actually is. In addition, there were a couple of meetings this morning of the Calcasieu River Funding Commission and the Advisory Commission. Ricky, do you want to report on that, or do you want me to?
Actually, it went really well. We did get approval through the Calcasieu River Funding Management Board to pay the Army Corps of Engineers up to $6 million for the match for anything associated with the project partnership agreement of the MFP with the Army Corps of Engineers. Meeting went well, very productive. Industry was there.
We'll also be writing the Corps to give them a tentative letter of commitment on those two studies that we've talked about in the past. One to extend the east jetties and one to deepen the channel. Before the Corps' intent, at least the last time we talked about that, was to include this in the FY '27 budget. They need the letter of intent, a non-binding letter of intent, for them to move on with that project. So we'll be issuing that in the next week or so. That's all I have. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Jamie. Any
I got
questions?
a question.
Go ahead, Tom.
Has there been any loss of personnel with the Corps or disruptions that are complicating things for you or?
Not that I can tell. We still have 2 people, sometimes 3 on our project, and that's what we deal with all the time, so,
You don't see a slowdown?
no, not yet.
Good, thank you.
Jenny, thank you. And we'll now move on to operations monthly report. Mr. Todd.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Recently at City Docks, been busy. We've had 2 barges and 1 vessel of aluminum trihydrates, about 30,000 tons. We've had the bag cement has started to arrive, so we've had 2 ships of bag cement, and then also along with the cement, they brought in about 33,000 tons of limestone. We've had a shipload of lumber. It's about 15,000 cubic meters, and 1 project cargo shipment of about 5,000 cubic meters. On the schedule right now, we've got 2 ships of lumber, about 15,000 cubic meters. Another aluminum trihydrate ship, about 35,000 tons. A project cargo shipment of 4,700 cubic meters. And 2 more bag cement ships. One's here working now, and then we have another one on the schedule. It's going to total about 76,000 tons of bag cement. At BT1, we had a ship and a barge of calcined, about 9,000 tons. We had 4 raw coke shipments, totaling about 110,000 tons. 1 cargo transfer, about 15,000 tons. A rutile ship and 3 barges, totaling about 18,000 tons. And 1 aluminum hydrate barge, about 1,600 tons. On the schedule at BT1, we've got about 25,000 tons of coke and another 33,000 tons of barite. Down at the Turning Basin, we've been busy down there as well. We've had about 18 barges totaling about 32,000 tons of aggregate, 3 barges of rough rice, about 5,000 tons, and currently unloading a pipe shipment that's got about 1,600 pieces of pipe, totaling about 17,000 tons of pipe. It's going to take about 7 days. It should finish this weekend. And then on the schedule, we've got 6 more aggregate barges coming in about 10,000 tons.
That's the South Louisiana Rail with the rough rice.
The rough rice, yes, sir.
That's going good.
Yeah, the barges are working really well down there. Yeah, but it's busy. Like I said, we've got the pipe shipment in. It's a large ship. It's about 650 feet long, and then it's about 27 feet of draft, so it's a large shipment, and so it's taken about 7 days to get that one done. And so yeah, things are moving.
Get the appearance of one of the top 10 ports in the nation.
Absolutely.
That's great. Thank you, Mr. Todd. Is there any questions by the commission? We will move on to engineering. No, we move on to cargo and trade. There's, I think, hearing from Mr. Ricky. Is that trade conference? Okay. All right then. Thank you, Ricky. We'll now move on to engineering and maintenance. Mr. Nick.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Thank you for approving all the submissions today. The one we already discussed, the PIDP agreement submission. As I mentioned, it's going to allow us to pave 5 acres of storage yard and add the rail for transloading. I'd like to thank Congressman Higgins and his staff for submitting that on our behalf and getting it approved. With all the different cargo we're handling these days, it's going to be a very heavily utilized area. Also, an update on our industrial canal project. It's out for bid now. We had our pre-bid meeting yesterday, and we had 56 people in attendance. We had a full house. I had to bring in extra chairs, actually. 33 different contractors were here for it, so it's very exciting. There's a lot of interest in that project. We're currently on track to open bids June 20th, and then we'll bring it to the July board meeting. And then lastly, I just wanted to give a quick update on burst 4, 5, and 6 capital outlay. We're once again requesting more money from our delegation to help us. We've been working with our lobbyists pushing to try to get additional funding there. We did get an additional 10 million, I believe it was, Ricky, moving from P5 to P1. So just a yearly push, kind of like Channing's begging for bucks tour. Every year we're going to go and ask for more money for that project. So, and that's all I have. Yeah, chipping away. That's all I have right now. If anyone has any questions.
Great job, Ned.
The
Appreciate
efficiency of the loaders at BT1 are still doing well?
Yes, sir, they are. Actually had a long call this morning with Brooks, which is the supplier of the ship loaders, just still chipping away at the punch list items. We're hoping next week we'll finish all the punch list items on one of the loaders, and the other one will immediately follow that. So they're still working well. We're working through some bugs as well, but it's nothing major that we haven't been able to. Well, only shut down operations for an hour or two at tops. So.
Yeah, that's working really well.
Yeah. Just a quick question, Nick, that I had. Just watching the news the other day, I noticed that we were actually getting into hurricane season.
Yes, sir.
Are we pretty much, as a port, prepared for what may happen or expectations of what may?
We are.
In
So
this type of season?
Channing has sent out the hurricane plan to all of our tenants and as well as all the staff. We've started doing the annual cleanup, just start picking up loose items, getting ready for it. All of our construction projects, they're required to maintain their sites during hurricane season, so they're aware of it as well. But yeah, we've pretty much done everything we can at this point, and it's just ready to go. So all of our tie downs are in place for the new equipment, so we should be fine on those.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Any other questions by the commission? Move on to state lobbies. I don't see if there's any. Mr. Self, is there anybody?
No, nothing further.
Okay. Federal? See any there either. At this time, is there any other matters that need to come before the commission? I notice that we won't be going into executive session today. Oh, I'm sorry. We have someone from the state office that would like to come up and speak with us?
No, she was, oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Ms. Robbie, did you want to come up and share a few words with us? Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Robbie Dyer. My address is 3340 Miller Lane, Lake Charles, Louisiana. I live here in Lake Charles. I just wanted to introduce myself. I've been coming to the meetings for a while.
Okay.
And just to let you know that there's representation from the governor's office. Our title is Rural Development, but we really do a lot more than just rural development. We're here for you if you need anything.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Robbie, for coming today and visiting with us. We definitely will be in touch with you. Is there any other questions or anything from the commissioners?
Move to adjourn.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. I have a
Second.
motion and a second. The time is 2:24. We will now see ourselves adjourned.
Very efficient.